I'm Amy, and I'm going to be performing Laura Cheveley's Monologue from An Ideal Husband by Oscar Wilde. And before you get upset with me, I do know that it is supposed to have an English accent, but because I'm specifically rehearsing for something that I'm not supposed to have an accent for, she's going to be Canadian for today. But I do know she's supposed to have an accent, and I usually do use one. But, yeah, enjoy. My dear Sir Robert, what then? You are ruined, that is all. Remember to what a point your Puritanism in England has brought you. In old days, nobody pretended to be a bit better than his neighbor. In fact, to be a bit better than one's neighbor was considered excessively vulgar and middle class. Nowadays, with our modern mania for morality, everyone has to pose as a paragon of purity, incorruptibility, and all the other 7 deadly virtues. And what is the result? You all go over like ninepins, one after the other. Scandals used to lend charm, or at least interest, to a man. Now they crush him. And yours is a very nasty scandal. You couldn't survive it. If it were known that, as a young man, secretary to a great and important minister, you sold a cabinet secret for a large sum of money, and that was the origin of your wealth and career, you would be hounded from public life. You would disappear completely. And after all, Sir Robert, why should you sacrifice your entire future rather than deal diplomatically with your enemy? For the moment, I am your enemy. I admit it, and I am much stronger than you. The big battalions are on my side. You have a splendid position, but it is your splendid position that makes you so vulnerable. You can't defend it, and I am an attack. Of course, I have not talked morality to you. You must admit, in fairness, that I have spared you that. Years ago, you did a clever and scrupulous thing. It turned out a great success. You owe to it your fortune and position. And now you've got to pay for it. Sooner or later, we all have got to pay for the things we do. You have to pay now. Before I leave you tonight, you've got to promise me that you are going to suppress your report and speak in the House in favor of this scheme. You must make it possible. You are going to make it possible. Sir Robert, you know what your English newspapers are like. Suppose that when I leave this house I drive down to some newspaper office and give them this scandal and the proofs of it. Think of their loathsome joy, of the delight they would have in dragging you down, of the mud and mire they would plunge you in. Think of the hypocrite with his greasy smile penning his leading article and arranging the foulness of the public placard.